All right, and we're back making another video. Today we're going to talk about vocals. I thought it would be pretty important. And I got this song, I made the beat and wrote the lyrics and recorded it a long time ago. Let's get into it. There's a couple different practices people use to record their vocals and how they process them, or if they even process them at all. And I am on the side of the fence where I do as minimal as I can. I still want it dry, but you don't have to have it completely dry. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but there's a reason why there's a right way and a wrong way for things. And I'm going to show you a couple of them. So having a dry vocal recorded in is a good idea so that you get a natural sounding vocal that is unprocessed, completely nothing on it, and then you can process it later. But for me, there's a couple things I like to do, or at least hear of the vocal when I'm recording it, or if I do a test take to see what it sounds like. I try to get everything as close to what the finished product would be as soon as it's recorded, because I don't want to do a whole lot of processing, even though I end up doing quite a bit of processing. This is my lead vocal. Here, I'll just change the color of it. So mic, lead vocal. On my lead vocal that I already have in here, I have a lot of processing on it. And the thing is, if I didn't add some of this processing to it beforehand, when the vocal was being recorded in, I would have no space left over here. Yeah, now we have patcherizer or patcher. You can add as many things as you want, but that's only space. If you add all of this and then another whole row of this, you're also taking up your CPU power. So to combat that and keep it from adding more, I try to do the least amount I can get away with on my recording track that I can, which means I'll do a little bit of denoise. Not typically. Usually I have it quiet in my room. Right now I have a fan going and an AC. In the computer, there's a shitload of noise in here, and I just have it on just in case I turn on the mic. And then on top of that, I have frequency splitter, which all this is doing is getting rid of the low end rumble. So I see where my lowest fundamental frequency is for my voice. I mean, talking, it's going to be lower than singing or rapping. So I can bring it right up to that. Bang, that's done. I get rid of all of that, which is huge. That's so much headroom. It's not even funny. You get rid of that in almost all your instruments, you're going to gain a lot of headroom, which just means you'll be able to turn the beat up louder. So we got frequency splitter, which is just an EQ. I'm using it as an EQ. And just to keep it simple, it only has 3 bands. So low, mid, high. I get rid of the low. And then I do my pitch correction. I feel if it's in key, if I know the key, supposedly the key of this song is D natural minor. It's all set up. I try to have it natural, 32.5, 32, anywhere from 30 to 40 milliseconds is usually good for me. And then I have Shep's omni-channel, which I use this for a couple things. You can add odd or even or heavy harmonics, distortion or saturation, whatever you want to call it. You can add that to it. You can DS going in. You can EQ, which I always add a lot of high end. As you can see here, this is the gain. I added 15.9 to the gain at a high shelf 6, which is not right, but that's what I like in my vocal. Because to me, I'd rather have it there and turn it down rather than not have it and turn it up. And then I got a compressor, slightly compressing, and then a gate, which a lot of times I don't use, but sometimes I do. And in this case, it looks like I was. Sometimes I don't even use the pre. But if you want to use a pre, this is nice because this is 5, 6 plugins in one. Really 5, but if you count the gain staging, it's another in limiter. So really 6, 7. But anyway, I use that so everything can kind of go through here. This makes it end up sounding really good in my opinion. So I use that. And then I just have an EQ here just as an analyzer. 98% of the time, I use this as just an analyzer just to see if my vocal is kind of flat across. It's not going over and then just dipping out. And then, of course, I got my denoise, which I only threw that on because of the fans, if I decide to use it. So I run my vocal through that, and then boom, there's my vocal right here.
I got 40 in.
And I have the effects in this track turned off. So this is what you're hearing right now from what this gave us. This is the product of running through these plugins.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp. And you look like you're jealous, and you don't look like a pimp. I'm Elon on a rocket, you're Joe Biden with a limp. I ain't Davy Crockett, but I'm moving with intent.
So that's that. And this is with the effects. I'll show you what it is, what it sounds like with the effects on, and then I'll do an A-B back and forth on and off. So here's on.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means.
So right off the bat, you can tell, holy crap, there's a lot going on right there. That vocal just came alive. It's way louder now. So before.
I got 40 in the pocket, I got 40 in the pocket. I got 40 in the pocket. I got 40 in the pocket.
So now let's see what it sounds like with the beat on. The effects are off.
I got 40.
I gotta shut off this vocal.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp.
It already fits fairly well.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp.
Right? I mean, it's low, but with hip hop, trap, and all of that, boom bap, hip hop, trap, whatever you want to call it, you have to have a upfront sounding vocal when you turn on the effects.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp.
And for me, in my opinion, getting the top end of the vocal to come up is important. Maybe not for every beat, every song, every person, but for me, majority of the time, getting this high end higher, which you don't want to bring it all the way up, but that's how I do it. So back to the vocal.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip.
Typically what I would do is make sure I got that rumble out.
I got 40 in the,
which we clearly do. There's absolutely nothing below the fundamental.
I got 40 in the,
and all I'm doing here, like I was saying, trying to get some of that high end, is I added a little bit in 5800 EQ range.
I got 40 in the pocket.
You can see that's where my vocal dips out. So I just add a little bit to that to bring that back. But you got to be careful here too. That's why I've used it on this F6, so that when this is kind of the area for the chs, the CH sounds, some of the S's. So when those come up and get aggressive, this will actually duck down and reduce the harshness of it. But I still want it there so I can get some of that high quality of my vocal.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp. And you look like you're jet.
And next, I got the EQ, which is doing nothing. And I got a compressor, which is doing a little bit. Don't want to smash it.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit.
On a vocal, when you have your attack really low, typically you're trying to smooth out your vocal. In this case, you put on your compressor and everything that's running through, you notice how there's no transients. There's one here. This is a good example. So if I bring this attack down, it's bringing it down to the beginning of the vocal, right before it makes the noise right here. And when the compressor is activated, it activates at that attack time, which is 2 milliseconds, very fast. It's like right here, it will actually clamp down however much you're compressing, and it'll push that down, and then it'll start releasing it at 171. So it'll come down and then start releasing. It would look like that. It would come down, start releasing.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some.
That's what that's doing. Typically, I want to leave the compressor at like 16 milliseconds so I can get that transient. And another idea with compressors is when you have it low like this and you do a lot of compression, you're going to actually take away those transients. And when you lose transients, you actually push the vocal back into your mix. That's essentially what I'm doing here. You can see there's not a whole bunch of huge transients. It's already being controlled in a manner where those transients come down, and then I'm able to push the vocal back up. And that kind of is helping me glue the vocal to the beat.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can.
So next up is, I love this plugin. This is my favorite plugin. This just does a lot of problem solving for me. The F6, I use it for a lot of stuff. I use it for bass ducking with my kick. So I sidechain it to this. It ducks out the bass whenever the kick hits. Same thing with other instruments. Here I'm using it as a de-esser.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp.
So it seems like I've already handled most of that with my first part with the de-essing. So it's not working as hard. Everything over here right now is not working as hard because I already pre-baked everything in and I'm happy with it. So that's what they're telling you to be careful about, because the fact that I lost my transients, I mean, I still got some transient, not a lot, but I wanted to get a lot of control.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip.
I still feel like the S's are a little too loud, which is fine. So I can go through and just attack them individually. And I'll get to that in a moment. So then I have another compressor doing the same thing, just clamping down even more.
I got 40.
This one's doing more work, so it's really squashing it. So if I show you what that's doing, probably show you, give you an idea of what it's doing.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means
with all of this on, I just have another EQ, which is doing a little bit, and then a de-esser, which is trying to do a lot, and then a limiter, again, just trying to get the vocal under control. The most important thing is getting a vocal under control. So let's see what this looks like compared to this with all of that other stuff. So it doesn't actually look like it's doing a whole heck of a lot, does it? Kinda. So if you look at it, to me it looks like we've gained more volume with what I've done with the processing. Gained volume on this, mostly with the
clip,
the high end of it. Same thing there. So it tells me I probably want to get rid of some more of the high end on that. With that processing, we basically shaped our sound. See how this one kind of comes in and then down. This one has more of a solid look to it. Like that's the shape of it. This one's more of a cone. This one's more of a brick. And what we did was we compressed this all down so that we could turn it up. So now the quieter parts will be louder and the louder parts will be quieter. So everything, you're reducing your dynamic range. To make things simple, that's what you're doing. You're decreasing your dynamic range. And as you can see, I didn't do a whole lot, but I just want that vocal to be able to punch through the beat. And it's going to matter how dense your beat is. If you have your drums, a bass, a lead instrument, and then your chords, and then you have a lot of stuff going on in it, you're going to have to work harder to get your vocal to come through the mix, that's what you got to do. Next thing is when you're setting up to do your vocals, I probably should have mentioned this before the recording and setting up your tracking and all that, your vocal. You want to have your mic positioned correctly. You want it about 5-6 inches away from your mouth, because the closer you get, the more of a proximity effect you get. The lows become louder and you don't pick up as much of the room. The further back you get from the mic, the more the room is able to get swallowed up by the mic, and it fights with your vocal. So you'll have your vocal and then a little bit of a reverb from the room. And so the reason why someone would want to put processing on their record track would be if you have experience with recording vocals, or if you record your own vocal a lot, which still goes with having the experience. If you record your vocals a lot and you know what makes your vocals sound good, and you know exactly what you need to, if you know exactly what is the word I'm looking for? If you know what the goal is that you're looking to accomplish, you can put some stuff, some plugins, create a plugin chain for your vocal tracking. But if not, you don't really want to put anything on it. Just do it after you recorded the vocal and then do your effect chain. But even the order of your effect chain matters too, because let's say you have a heavy low end frequency range in your vocal and you don't do anything to it, and then you compress it and bring it up. Now it's even worse. Eventually you're going to have to bring that down. But because compressors are going to exacerbate a problem, if you're feeding the vocal into the compressor with an already clear problem, the compressor is going to make that problem worse. And it's going to make the compressor work harder because of this. If this is way high, and it doesn't even have to be way high, even a little bit high, just not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here in your 2, 3, I'm about 6 dB high there. But it's going to make that compressor act different than if you corrected it beforehand, like I did with this. And typically I just throw a regular EQ on anyway, just in case I need to fix those problems. So I'll throw on my effect chain and then play the vocal with the beat. Of course, everything's always relative to the beat. I throw the EQ in there to see where the problem is. Say, just because I use this F6, instead of using this to sweep around, I put the F6 on, then I put the EQ, then the compressor, exactly what I got there. And then when the vocal's playing, I can just sweep around in here and see where it sounds better when I decrease this frequency. So that's why I brought it up here, because I must have thought it sounded better somewhere up here. I wanted to use this to do it, the compressing effect from the F6, and the EQ just helped me get there. I could have either done it with this and not had the effect of it ducking out when something got really loud. And then of course I got the compressor, so it goes through, gets smoothened up a little bit, smoothed out, and then I take off a little bit of the high end there. And I got this de-esser, which needs to probably do a little more.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp.
And that's that. The other thing when creating a vocal chain for your chord track is your de-essing. You want to be very careful, because if you overdo your de-essing, you cannot bring it back. So typically you want that to be very, very minimal. We already know my S's are just crazy. So obviously I did not do too much, which is good, because I still got to have a de-esser in here. And I have 2 limiters because I don't like to do everything with one to make the limiter work too hard. I use 2 instead of having all of these effects, which I could probably get rid of the EQ, maybe even the splitter, but I would definitely have to have the waves tune real time and probably the Shep's Omni channel on here. So I'd have to get rid of one of these. I could definitely get rid of the EQ, but that would fill this whole track for sure. But by putting the waves real tune on that first one, it frees me up. I got a free track where if I had still fighting a problem, I could add some here, whatever it may be, or I could add a effect like delay or reverb to it, something, anything, which you typically wouldn't do. You would make your reverb and delay on a send track, so you would just send it to this, which is typically where it is. So I got my delay and reverb both to make it sound kind of cool. And then once I have this record track set up to where I like it, I want to get it as close to liking it as possible. Then I'll do my record session. I got my bars written. Maybe I got 4 bars written. Maybe I got 8. Maybe I got 12. Maybe I got 16. Whatever the case is. Sometimes I got a beat and I love the beat and I'm like, man, I just want to hear something on it. So I will record 4 bars, just record them. So 4 bars is right here. I'll do 4 bar block, then just take this, bam, send it to my lead vocal track. Now I can start manipulating that track, which throw on all my whole chain, just start adding the effects I need to start fixing it. Doesn't need to be louder. Is there any frequency range that is ear piercing or just sticks out and sounds weird? I'll put an EQ on it and fix that. And then I'll continue writing, maybe 4 more bars, record them 4 bars. Bam, done. Then I'll record 4 more bars. Well, I'll write it and then record 4 more bars, then 4 more bars. So I'll go 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars. Boom. Got a verse. Makes it really easy. Then I messed up some words. I went back.
That means
and added some of the words that were missing that I messed up on. Added some ad libs just to add some stuff to it, like the Then after that, I will now have 16 bars. I will record the whole 16 bars all the way through, which this is probably not. No, so it's 4 bars at a time. Just makes it more manageable for me. I just do 4 bar chunks, unless I write 8 bars and I'm not in a hurry to record it. Sometimes I'll do 8 bars, record the 8, do another 4, or just do another 8 and record it. My efficiency at writing isn't always the same. So sometimes it takes me a while. Sometimes I'm just not happy with the bars that I wrote. And I'm like, it's not worth writing yet. Or I'll write the bars and be happy with it and just be like, I need to fix it up. So I'll wait, fix it up, get it to where it seems right, then record it. So now I'll go through.
I got 40. I got some credit.
I can take this, bring it down a little bit.
I got some credit. I got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp.
Another thing you can do, if you got your lead vocal and then like a supporting vocal that's just kind of propping it up behind it to add some wideness to it, or trying to fill in some of the vocal to make it sound fuller, you can get rid of one of the S's, because 2 S's together are going to double the volume of that S. So my track 20, this one takes out the high end. So it's reducing that S. There's no S in the low end of that vocal. And it's just trying to stay behind it, right in the path where most of the energy of the vocal is, and trying to make it sound like it's behind it. I'll play them both at the same time.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip.
That one might not be the best one. For some reason, when I recorded this, I recorded a double take. So there's actually two vocals right here. It might have been this one. So it's like baked into this one. But it stops right after.
In a clip.
You can hear
40 in the pocket.
You can hear 2 voices.
But
right after that, it stops. So we'll go over here.
You look like you're jealous and you don't look like a pimp. You look like you're jealous and you don't look like a pimp.
So what I got going on is this one stays dry in relation to having any reverb or delay on it. And I have the delay and reverb on the backing track.
You look like you're jealous and you don't look like a pimp.
You hear it? It's almost like a slap delay.
You look like you're jealous and you don't look like a pimp. I'm Elon on a rocket, you're Joe Biden with a limp.
That just reminded me of something else to talk about. And that is your breaths. To me, a breath is musical. It holds timing. So I don't get rid of all of them. Sometimes if the beat is very full sounding, not minimalistic, I will delete the breaths. But majority of the time I leave them. And it depends on what's happening. Like here, for example, I got the breath. There might be a breath there, breath here. I think that's breath. Yeah, it's breath. But no breath here because this is taking the place of the breath, which is like a little fill or lead in phrase to go into the next bar. So don't need to have a breath and that lead in. This one just goes,
That
means
credit in a clip. That means credit. You can try to skip it, stop it, but you just look like a simp.
You can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp. So then right after that, there would be a breath.
You look like you're jealous.
But instead of the breath, it goes,
Just look like a simp. You look like you.
Instead of the breath, you got that little nab lip, which can add to the track a lot, add little character to it. Or you just leave the breath.
I ain't Davy Crockett, but I'm moving.
And having that breath in there, especially having it in the right place, sounds musical.
I ain't.
So I'll bring the beat back.
Elon on a rocket, you're Joe Biden with a limp.
Hear the breath.
Elon on a rocket, you're Joe Biden with a limp.
Same thing with that.
Yeah.
It's just an ab lip. This breath is because this leads into this part of the vocal and it's not overlapping that breath. So it goes, yeah. So I keep breaths for the musicality. And if you keep them, it sounds like another syllable when you're rapping, or it sounds musical when you're singing. So that's why I keep breaths, but not all the time. Yeah. The other thing about vocal is I will go through every single word, just like what I got here. Word, word, word. Or not even word, but syllable. And then the hook.
I guess I'm nothing but less. You are unaware, you never see me there.
You want to have a plan going into the song as to how you want your ad-libs and background vocals to sound. I have this background vocal for my verse playing as just a supporting role to kind of fill in some of the gaps for my lead vocal. I don't want you to really hear it, but I want you to feel its presence and make it feel fuller. And that's all the role of that really does. And sometimes I rely on that to help with pronunciation if some of my words are a little weak in the lead vocal. Yeah, I'll re-record it and make it better, but you can also rely on the background vocal. And depending on what you want to do, like this is all this has, and I feel like this is all it really needs. Everything here does the job without getting in the way of each other. It's simple. It's got a structure to it. I mean, we're getting into the creative side now. Everything has its own little structure. Like all the breaths come at the same time. Bam, bam. Which can either be good or bad. You don't want it always to be the same, which it's not. Once we get into the next 8 bars, it changes up a little bit. It's less choppy like that, and it's filled in more. And then my hooks are just designed to be interesting and fun to sing. That's pretty much all my hooks are trying to accomplish. So what I was saying before is when you're going to have your background vocals and your ad libs and like your accent vocals and stuff, you want to have a plan. Like I started recording another song, and like this, for example, has a ton of vocals, and each vocal lives in its own zone. So this one might be like, oh, that's the lead. So that one's going to be center. We know anything that's on 19, which is this vocal, is going to be dead center and probably the loudest vocal of all. And then the rest of them are going to be like panned wide, panned just a little bit narrower left and right, so that you get a more full stereo width for your chorus or your hook. You just want to have some kind of plan, because if you don't have a plan, you're kind of trying to do it blind, and it really sucks trying to do it. When you're listening to the song, you kind of want to listen to it and be like, what would sound good? My vocal be dead center, or maybe you want to eliminate the dead center vocal and put it left and right. Maybe you want to do a bunch of them like I did here. It's almost like a chant.
You are unaware, you never see me there.
I mean, even with all these vocals stacked, like it still only sounds like one vocal in the middle. So a lot of these are turned down. Some of them are panned. They're not panned super wide.
You are unaware, you never see me there. I blend in with the air, you'll never be prepared. I know that you're scared.
And what that does, by separating them out and not having everything dead center, it's like having characters in a play, right? You got your lead character who's talking, who's the actual focus. And then you got your supporting characters that are moving around your lead character. Like somebody might be reading a newspaper, not saying anything. They're just there to fill in that space. And you got like the wife of the lead character. She's cooking dinner, not saying anything. She's just filling in space, just making up the scene. Well, that's what all these other background vocals are doing. You got your lead in the middle, and then record two more and pan them left and right, and then EQ them so that they make sense to be out there on the left and right. Maybe you want them high frequencies, but you want to turn them down low so you can barely hear them. So it just has like a little accent, and it'll still sound like it's stuck to that lead middle vocal. And then you do two more. And then you basically, what I did with this, widened it out only a little bit, not as wide. And now you have like a wall of a vocal that fills wide left, right, mid left, right, and all the way center. So it's just like this big vocal. And it's going to easily be heard because it's in all of the frequency spectrum and the width spectrum. So making sure it's heard is not going to be a problem. And it makes, by having all these vocals, makes it jump out more than just a verse, which means you have a distinct separation between your verse and your hook. Tips and tricks brought to you by me. And that's all I got for today. So I'll play the whole beat and song for you so you can get the whole thing. Let me know if you like it. Should I have finished it out or made it a teachable moment? Anyway, here we go.
I got 40 in the pocket, got some credit in a clip. That means you can try to stop it, but you just look like a simp. And you look like you're jealous, and you don't look like a pimp. I'm Elon on a rocket, you're Joe Biden with a limp. I ain't Davy Crockett, but I'm moving with intent. Cause you ain't busting nothing, you're just posted at the lick. You got no Lamborghini, why you pretending you're rich? Cause you ain't copping nothing, you just posted for some clips. Yeah, I keep it clean like Ajax, cassette CDs and 8-tracks. I guess I'm going way back, I'm getting them checks like payback. Piling up like them haystacks, making 7 or 8 racks. I can't slow down, no brake pads, Mercedes, Benz and Maybachs. It doesn't make any sense, no welfare, food benefits. I'm going like cannabis, no way that I can resist. It's just the way that it is, no point in raising no fists. I'm satisfied when you're pissed, I guess I'm nothing but less. You are unaware, you never see me there. I blend in with the air, you'll never be prepared. I know that you're scared to hear my name out there, I'm beyond compare. I'm your nightmare. You are unaware. You never see me there. I blend in with the air. You'll never be prepared. I know that you're scared to hear my name out there. I'm beyond compare. I'm your nightmare. I'm your nightmare. You are unaware. You never see me there. I blend in with the air. You'll never be prepared. I know that you're scared to hear my name out there. I'm beyond compare. I'm your nightmare. You are unaware. You never see me there. I blend in with the air. You'll never be prepared. I know that you're scared to hear my name out there. I'm beyond compare. I'm your nightmare.
Pretty cool. So that second section, that second verse, that's for you. Write a verse, record it. I want to hear it.